Assalamu alaikum all. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're going to discuss two types of passive transport today. Now when we say passive transport, remembering we're talking about a type of transport across the cell membrane that does not require energy or does not need ATP. And this is really more of a biochemistry type of topic. But before we get to this video, I'm going to make the switch. So I got my Science Akhi hat here. I'm going to make a switch. And for those that know what this is, to God free all the oppressed people in the entire world. Let's get right to it. I like the kufiya design here. Now, cells, like everything else in life, like to be balanced. And so there are certain processes that happen inside and outside the cell that help ensure this balance. One of those processes is osmosis, and that's really focused on the movement of water in and out of the cell. When water moves from an area that has a lower concentration of solutes or non-water particles to an area of higher concentration of solutes, this is called osmosis. Another way to think about it is that you're moving from an area that has a lot of water to an area that doesn't have a lot of water and really has more solute. And this is going to keep happening back and forth between the outside of the cell and the inside of the cell until the concentrations of solutes are equal on both sides and your cell has reached something called equilibrium, or in other words, homeostasis. The main thing to keep in mind is that when water moves into the cell through the cell membrane, your cell is going to swell up, right? It's kind of like it's bloating. And when it moves out of the cell membrane into the environment that has more solute, then it's going to shrivel up. And so we often can tell what's happening with the cell itself by looking at whether, the end result is it shriveling up or if it's bloating or increasing in size. So a couple of terms there that we're going to work with, so it's best to go over them right now, is solute, which refers to any non-water particles or molecules. Solvent, which is going to refer to water molecules exclusively in this case. And then what concentration is. And remember, we're not trying to make them both the same, or both sides the same. We're trying to make the concentrations equal. And that's the ratio. And I'm going to write that here so that it's understood. That's going to be the ratio, okay, between the solute and the solvent. So let's say I look at two sides, and we have sides A and sides B. If I look at the red dots, which are the solutes, versus the blue dots, which are the waters, I get the following ratios for both of these sides. So let's say in our beaker here, which is separated by a semi-permeable membrane, and you can think about this as the cell membrane, and this entire beaker as the cell. So I'm just going to draw an arrow here writing the cell. Okay, so on side A, and we can think about it as, let's say, outside the cell, you have a ratio of 4 to 11 molecules. So 4 solutes to 11 molecules of water. And then on side B, I have a ratio of 6 molecules to 9 molecules of water. Okay, so 6 solutes to 9 waters, and in the first one, 4 solutes to 11 waters. Well, this side over here, side B, has the greater concentration. That ratio is greater than the 4 to 11 ratio. And so what's going to happen is osmosis says, and we're going to write this here, osmosis says that the water will move towards the higher concentration of solutes. And remember, the aim is to dilute that so that we can actually change the ratio or the concentration between the solutes and the solvent. So in order to make both of them the same, both the concentrations the same or the ratio is the same, what we can do is we can grab 3 of these water molecules over here, and H2O is going to move towards, or grab those 3 water molecules, move them towards side B, since it has the higher concentration. And so now, this would have the 3 molecules. I would erase this over here. And when we recalculate the ratios, we'd get the following. A 4 to 8 ratio on the A side of the beaker, and then a 6:12 ratio on the B side of the beaker. And these simplify to 1:2, both of them, which means that concentration-wise, now they're equal, so osmosis is going to stop. But it's not about left side or right side. It's about which side has higher concentration or higher ratio between the solute and the solvent, and which side has a lower one. And the side with the higher ratio is going to be the recipient of the water molecules. Or I should say that the osmosis process will push water to the side with a higher concentration ratio. Now, in the passive transport process of diffusion, instead of the solvent molecules or the water molecules moving from one side or the inside of the cell to the outside of the cell and vice versa, you have the solutes themselves, right? The non-water particles that are moving or redistributing themselves inside the cell solution so that there is a change in concentration. There are two ways that this can happen, or two subcategories to diffusion. You have simple diffusion and you have facilitated diffusion. In simple diffusion, the substance or the solutes pass through the phospholipids inside the cell membrane. They're often small enough that they can fit through these phospholipid bilayers, or they're uncharged particles, and so they can pass through the membrane through simple diffusion. Now, if we have these charged or polar molecules trying to fit through the membrane, we're going to need some sort of channel protein in order for the membrane to be able to channel these charged or polar molecules into the cell and out of the cell. And when this happens, we call this facilitated diffusion, because these channel proteins and carrier proteins facilitate the diffusion into and out of the cell.